It's the Obon festival that's happening in Japan. As I record this, it's still ongoing and there's no new chapter. You know what's weird? I actually thought there was going to be a chapter. And I thought it was only happening to Tokyo Ghoul and One Piece. I thought One Piece happening because, the usual Oda actually likes to take his time and breaks. And, it's nothing wrong with that. Just it seems like it reminded me of another guy that doesn't really, he takes a long break or rather never shows up again. You know who I'm talking about. Or if you don't, well, I'll give you a hint. That person, he has a reputation to be delayed. He has a reputation to go a hiatus for such a long time. And supposedly the running joke is that he is playing Dragon Quest. And that is the reason why he is not back for us to finish off the series itself. But I think you should know the idea what series I'm talking about. But if you don't, well, I guess I'll let you figure it out yourself. It has 2H. Anyway, so what to do? There's no new chapters at all. Nothing at all. There's a spoilers that's actually leaking out for Tokyo Ghoul Re. And looks interesting, needless to say. But I can't review anything about it because the chapter is not even out. No Fairy Tail, no Nanasu no Taizai, no Tokyo Ghoul Re. No One Piece, no Bleach, nothing. No series this week. I mean, I know we got Attack on Titan, but I said that'll be another time, another day, whatever. But there's still no series to talk about. So, I guess I could just talk about few things on my own. For starters, there's only one episode of podcast this week because, again, no chapters. What's the point of doing it if there is no chapters? Usually I split up because I get multiple chapters, multiple series and stuff like that. And, granted I do for the news as well, but not much news to talk about. Since it's a holiday event that's happening in Japan, it's most likely there's not going to be that much news anyway. Just about sales, rankings, and stuff like that. But nothing like anything about, the breaking news or anything that's something shocking. Thankfully, nothing breaking news has been a tragic event. So let's pray for that not to happen at all. But there's nothing much to say here. There's not much to talk about. Besides some of a few comments. So I decided why not just take this time to make some comment about here and there. And, man, I'm really not much to go with. But I want to comment one thing. Well, a couple of things. And it has to do with the podcast itself. Now, I have been bringing up more challenges to my needs, I guess. I guess I put up more than I could chew. Whatever that expression is, however that expression is. So, what I'm saying is, I'm not really retiring the podcast, but I am going to go back to one episode per week, and I haven't really decided scheduling. I haven't really decided. Well, actually, I did decide what day that will begin, and that will begin in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I will start doing a weekly podcast, no more of 2 episodes per week. It is more. I mean, I like the fact I get to talk about other series, more news, whatever that comes to mind. The problem is, it is a lot of work and it is time consuming. And whatever in the case that I'm in right now, I guess I put up more challenges than I thought. So now I'm not really stressed, but I could see myself getting a little stressed, and I know I should not really make myself stressful with this whole situation, especially when you guys could be you're not really in a hurry or anything. You could, you guys still support me with this whole podcast thing, which I do appreciate, and I do appreciate the subscription with even if it's still, whatever the number is. It's always welcome to hear comments or any likes and whatever you like the materials in the podcast itself. So I'm just going to do one podcast episode per week now from 2 weeks, and next week I won't do any podcast as I'm going to get set up on what to do and have my scheduling, which I'm going to post it up. Now, the reason why I'm starting talking about this now because it's the fact that, like I said, it's a lot of time consuming, and the thing is, a lot of people makes their time, and for me, I can only do such a minimum to make my own time because I just have more work to be done outside of doing this podcast or even outside doing the Tumblr, the whole anime reviews, the manga reviews. I haven't started yet, but I'm going to in a very, very near future. So, in the anime wise, I am going to write another anime review in next week Saturday. And because I have this so many work, like this whole review, this whole first impression, the quick thoughts, which by the way I will have to change into something else, but I will address that when the time comes. But in any case, because I have a lot of work to be done, because I have a lot of, I guess you could say, a lot of hobbies and a lot of materials, a lot of things done, I had to cut some things off. I had to cut it down short for me. I don't want to I don't want to create a stress that's really not necessary, and it's not like, I do appreciate how people enjoy this whole podcast thing, and I get more subscription and support. It's good and all, but two per a week is a little bit hard. Maybe it is possible. I have seen other people done it. It's just they know how to do their timing. It's just they know how to schedule their things. And some of them probably have less work than I do. So maybe with that and they know how to plan things, they don't find themselves stressing out. I mean, sure, this whole podcast thing is like a hobby. It's something that you enjoy, and I do enjoy this one too. I enjoy recording myself and everything, but it's always hard to find the time. And lately, I've been falling asleep because I guess I overworking myself each days, and because not only because of the work, not only because of what I do outside, helping my family out with the house, especially when I'm renovating my own living room as this time, which is still under work. But it's really looking nice, and I really can't wait to when it's all done. I really looking forward to that. But that said, it's just so many work, and I don't want to cause myself to get stressed. I don't want to lose myself and then just break down. I mean, I'm not near it or any close to it, but I don't want to get to that certain mood. I don't want to get to that experience feeling. I hear a lot of stories from people I know, and even the people the internet guys I even know, and it seems very scary. It seems very sad, depressing to get to that kind of stress. I don't want to get that in my mind. I want to avoid that at all costs. Seeing the guy that actually does these comedies videos being so in a depressing way, it's just. It's very irony, and I know it's always something that you actually keep hearing these days with this whole the comedy. The funniest people are actually the most depressed people. I don't know. It's something that I hear from a long ago from a bunch of guys, but sometimes that could be true, maybe not. I don't know, but either way, I don't want it to overwork myself. And I am overworking myself with the idea that keep popping up in my head. So I guess you could say that's my fault. And it is. But it's something I just like to have. I like to do. And I've been, working on my scheduling and timing. And it's doing well. It's getting better. That's for sure. I'm trying not to lace up too much. And then try not to overwork myself as well. Thing is, the podcast has to cut down because, it does take time to record. It does take time to do the edits, especially where you can hear the background sound from either the dog barking, the train running, whatever. And it's just kind of hard to not to, tone it down and try to avoid that at all costs. And, with me, with bunch of hobbies of mine, it's just kind of hard to, like, keep it up, So, because anime and manga is not my only thing my whole life. I have a lot, and I have a lot in mind. So, yeah, so basically but in 2 weeks, there will be only one episode. How is going to work that point forward? Well, I will let you know next week. And I will let you know in the Tumblr page. I will have a post to talk about how it's going to work. I'm actually planning to try to do it in a different way, in a new system style. And I'm only going to review 3 series. 3 series that's actually, something I like to talk about the most so far. And, of course, Tokyo Ghoul is going to be there because I just really like that series so much. I'm trying to figure out the series that you care or something I wanted to kind of advertise. So I'm thinking Boku no Hero Academia might stay in there because it's a series that really needs more attention. And I know it will get a lot of attention when the anime hits, but I like to get it more attention right now as One Punch Man is getting a lot of buzz as of late. It almost passed Bleach in their first week sale. But in the long run, it seems like One Punch Man is going to beat Bleach. And then the anime comes out. Once the anime happens, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a huge boost. As someone predicted to be the next Attack on Titan. The next Attack on Titan popularity rise. I don't know that's going to happen. I would love to happen for like a lot of series, no less. But I don't think it will happen. But either way, I'm happy that it's selling more and more as of late, especially with the whole anime adaptation. It's this whole increase of sale, this whole attentions coming from the audience from Japan and the United States, and the fact that they're going to release 2 volumes, which is coming out next month. So I'm really prepared to get those 2 volumes in for day one. But yeah, it seems like One Punch Man is getting a lot of attention, and hopefully when the anime comes out, I think the sale will actually beat Bleach and probably go surpass our expectation. I don't think the expectation would be the next Attack on Titan, but trying to think of like beat on the level of Bleach on the heydays era, or maybe Bleach in the heydays is the best way to put it. Or if you wanna think about the current one, how about Haikyuu? Try to beat Haikyuu in 1 week sale. If they could do that after the anime release, I think we're gonna get a huge hit. So, going back to the original topic, Boku no Hero Academia, I'd like to advertise more of that series. No Tazai got enough already. Japan loves it. I don't know about United States audience. It seems pretty low for some reason. Or maybe I just don't find the right audience. Or maybe I just didn't find the right discussion board to talk about the series. But it is definitely a good series. It's just, I guess it's like, it's already known. You got the anime. Japan already knows it. They love it, whatever. And, I guess that's enough. And, I just prefer more Boku no Hero Academia to talk about because it needs more attention. And I do like the whole concept, the hero stuff, and the art is really nice too for what it is. If I put Bleach, it will be quick. So it'll be quick. One Piece is in my mind. The only thing I'm bothered, it's not me reviewing, but it's the fact that the series is really, really not popular in the United States. It's popular, but it cannot be any more opposite from Japan popularity. It is like it's popular, but not in that degree. Definitely not near any degree of what Japan sees in One Piece than we do see in One Piece. But yeah, I'm thinking about just talk about that stuff because I do enjoy that series a lot. Granted, the arc we have was a hit and miss here and there. I understand that this is not the best arc. It was still enjoyable though. Actually, it was pretty enjoyable. And in the long run, it's actually a lot of good moments than bad moments or weaker moments. I should put it that way. So I can't really hate that. But One Piece is in my mind. I think it might most likely be in there. And the other series like Fairy Tail. Maybe I put Fairy Tail. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I mean, Fairy Tail is a good read. It's enjoyable. Not my favorite, not my best. No, not the greatest thing that I will always wait for every week, but it is still a fun read. You should really not put too much serious attention to it, as in like put it into too much thoughts into it, because the series will make you hate it. Actually, if you put a lot of thoughts to it, it's just supposed to be some fun thing. It's not bad. It's relaxing. It's enjoyable. That's what it is. If you think too much of it, or if you try to make it seem like it's serious, even if the series itself doesn't even act like it's trying to be that serious, to be honest with you, then you're only going to ask for the trouble with that series, as in hate. But, to each of their own, I guess. So I'll think about it. I'll let you guys know next week, even the scheduling timing. And to be honest, if I get this done right, I think the podcast will actually come out in time for once. I've been not believing the scheduling. That's why I even come to this decision. Because you see me trying to struggle. Well, not see me, but you see my podcast record struggling to come in the right time, coming on time. And just, it's not easy. Like I said, time consuming. A lot of things in my mind. I try not to overwork myself. So, and next week I will let you guys know what's the system going to be like. It's going to be a bit different from what I'm doing right now. It's going to be more, I guess, more effort to my part. Something that I wanted to do since the beginning of the podcast, but I was new to this whole thing, and I still feel like I am, actually. So, it's not easy. It's really not easy, guys. I mean, word of advice, you could do it. It's fun. Just be prepared for some of you gotta be careful. You gotta be top of your game. You gotta plan things ahead, and you gotta plan things well. I learned that in the hard way, believe it or not. So, that's just my word of advice. I really like to wish to have like a better production of my whole system of a podcast, but with the materials I have, it's good enough for now. And again, maybe just in 2 weeks I can finally get a lot of things in my sets. I can finally get a lot of things I like to do, what I always wanted to do from the first thing. So maybe a lot of things would change up. Not sure about the logo of mine, but a lot of things will be changing up soon. So hopefully you will enjoy that change. Again, there will be 3 chapters reviews. When the time it comes, I don't know. Not yet, at least. But I'll let you guys know. All I know is Tokyo Ghoul is going to be there. Since the whole chapter reviews is still there, the whole podcast system will more or less be the same, but there will be some additional parts that hopefully you guys enjoy to hear and enjoy to, and just enjoy yourself. So what to talk about this whole festival? Well, there's 3 things I like to talk about. Or more like top three series. So let's get one by one. Now we got this whole Naruto thing. Naruto has officially come to an end. I can't say forever, but it come to an end. Kishimoto is done with the series. He's not gonna go back for now, but he's not gonna go back. He's gonna rest. He's done with it. He's gonna move on to his new project. There's no sequel from him. Quote from him, because there's a possibility you could do a sequel, but it's suicide if you ask me. Dragon Ball GT did not survive at all. That's a known fact. It didn't survive. I mean, yeah, 67 episode or 60, whatever the episode, and a movie. But let's face it, it could have lasted longer if the series was that successful. And people knows these names. It goes to show you have to have the name of the creator in that series. Because if you don't, the success rate won't be that high. It affects to the movie as well when you really think about it. Because if you don't, okay, I'm not going to count the last of Boruto. I'm going to count Road to Ninja. Because Road to Ninja is still a movie that's just a movie, rather than like, I gotta see this movie because it's part of the main story, it's canon, it's after story, I gotta see it, like The Last or the Boruto. So I'm gonna use Road to Ninja for example. You look at the other movies, they were declining in sales. They still made $1 billion, over $1 billion, but it was declining nonetheless, and it was not that high. Now when you put Kishimoto in that name, boom, and then there you go, it goes high. Because his name is in there. It's the creator's creation, more or less. But the point is, he's doing it, or she's doing it. Whoever the mangaka, whoever the creator may be. Point is, it's the name value. The name does value the series title as well. So you need to have Kishimoto. You need to have the original creator. Because if you just have someone else doing it, nobody's going to support it that much. I don't even know how the anime ratings is working now for Naruto. It just recently we got an anime rating and there was like a 2.5 of another series. So where's Naruto? Is it a 2? Is it a 1? I don't know. But my advice is that they should not do a sequel. If they're going to do a sequel, they have to do it with Kishimoto. They can't do it without him. They just can't. And if they do, it's not only just suicide in terms of success, but it's just a suicide in terms of quality. Because Studio Parrot is not known for really good writing at all. So the fillers for any series is, a big miss for most part. For the most part, they're a big miss. Some of them could be decent. But let's face it, it won't be that decent for like a good period of time if they were to do a sequel, with Boruto and the new friends and whatever. But point is, it just won't work. It's just not going to do it. So it's best to do it under Kishimoto, under his pen, as in writing. But if you can't do that, then just let it be. Just don't even think about Boruto. Don't even think about the sequel. In fact, they're just doing the fillers right now, so forget about that. So they're doing more fillers. They're going to do more fillers once this whole case of the dream world happens, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's going to be fun, I suppose. So, before talking about the movie itself, because it's out. So yeah. Anyway, before talking about that, I wanted to just get a brief discussion with this whole one-shot thing that came from when you buy the ticket and see the movie for early on. They have this one-shot, and I finally managed to get to see it, read it, and all that stuff. And at first I was so upset that the fact that you had to go to the movie in order to get the piece that should have been in the manga in the first place. But then after reading it, I guess you don't really need to see it. It's not a mandatory thing because it's not a crucial moment, as in like a strong piece of the series. The main piece of the series is more done in the comic relief style, which is not bad. It was not bad, to be honest with you. I read it. It wasn't bad. The only problem, and it goes to anybody who really cares about the series' heart, as in like the emotion, the drama, is the fact that it's happening on the Hokage integration ceremony. Why? Why can't I be just a party? Like, hey, anniversary of Naruto being a Hokage, huzzah, anything like that. Like, if it was like a party, it would have been fun. It would have been fine. It would have been just fine. But it has to be on the day where it's like the most important day of his life. It's just weird. I don't know why they did that. It feels like, wow, I underplayed that, got accomplished, so you don't need to be mad at me. It's just weird how they have to do that way. Why that? The whole thing is all comic relief. You're not supposed to take it too serious with the idea that, you're not supposed to think about the strength and the future, especially the fact that the series is and has ended. So what's the point of talking about it? Yes, again, they could make a sequel. I get it, but the whole point of that whole thing is a comic relief, especially the fact that Kishimoto once again used the scary woman trope. but in this case, it's the daughter. But the point is, it's a scary woman, scary girl, female trope that once again comes back in this series. And that's pretty much it. Naruto missed it because he got hit in the crucial point that he could not wake up on time, which he didn't. That was the whole build up, and it wasn't bad. But I just wish the whole ceremony should have been in the manga, not that style, but in a more serious and heartfelt style that feels like we accomplished a very, very important factor. So that's not much I can say with that one. It's just a comic relief. Not too bad. You might get really angry if you're really dedicated to the fact that this whole ceremony thing, but that's up to you. So the movie itself, it has launched, and it did a really good job on the openings at the box office. Like, I believe it hits 680 million yen, and that is a good number. That is a good number. The one thing I didn't know, though, is that how Boruto actually came out in 3 days. I thought it came out 2 days. Actually, I lied. And the fact that I really thought my real thought was that I thought the last came out in 3 days, but it actually came out 2 days. And in 2 days, it got that much money. That's at 515 million. While Boruto got 680 million. Now, when you do a split up, it's actually less than the last. I guess it's more of a what if, but what if the last did open up with 3 days box office? Would it be higher than Boruto or would it be lower than Boruto? Again, that's a what if. So, but either way, you gotta give it kudos of the box office. So, with all those advertisements, the fact that Kishimoto has said this is the final masterpiece, they made a music video that's pretty much a dedication to thank you for the great support of you guys for 15 years of Naruto, and so on and so on. And of course, the fan herself wants to see the series. So yeah, pretty good opening. Speaking of movies, 2 things I'd like to get to. Now, let's not talk about Naruto anymore. Let's get to Dragon Ball Z. Okay. First of all, let me talk about the Resurrection F. No, I have not seen it. And I will review it when I see it. That's not what I want to talk about, though. But I want to talk about the box office. The box office in America is incredibly high. So high that it is only behind the Pokemon and I think the Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! And those were the movies that was treated like a Hollywood box office opening. As in, like, one of those movies that's like, it's going to open over 1,000, 2,000 theater screens, whatever. So, DBZ was only released for like a week. And they extended 2 more days. But they only released a week. And they only have a lower numbers of screening. And yet it did so much. It's pretty amazing, actually. You should have just opened a normal time. Maybe if Toei decided to make a new movie, maybe they would be like, oh, let's start advertising. Let's start advertising New York City, a billboard, whatever. Dragon Ball Z coming in theater near you. Because if they could do that, they could actually reach out to Pokemon. I'm not even kidding. Maybe they can. Okay, maybe I could be wrong. But the chance is there. It's not like, there's no chance in hell it's going to happen. And 2D animation is dead in America. I believe is not, maybe in Hollywood-wise, sure. Fine. It may be dead. But into the hearts of the soul of the moviegoers, I think it's still very much alive. Let alone the fact the anime and pretty much anybody who's just a growth found of the 2D animation universe. From Disney, from early DreamWorks, and so on. And, anime is no exception. So, seeing Dragon Ball Z hitting the top 10, or to be more specific, is in the top 9 of the highest selling animation movies on anime, of course, but still, it's pretty impressive for what it is. No, it's not Disney, it's not DreamWorks, but for what it is, it's damn impressive. Let alone it's like treated like some kind of indie-ish way, with the lower screening number, or actually it's just a limited time version. That's the reason why it's so high. So it could have been higher, of course, but with limited time, it's just astounding, just astounding. What's not astounding? Well, actually, it is astounding in a different way, and is what I'm talking about is Dragon Ball Super. I have not seen it. Not yet. I haven't seen it, but I heard a lot of stories about it, and of course, it has to do with Dragon Ball Super Episode 5. Episode 5, from what I heard, is a remake of Battle of Gods, which I didn't even see. Believe it or not, which I didn't even see. So, I have the curiosity on what made people so angry. What made people so, I don't know, I want to say bloodthirsty for Toei. So, okay, maybe they're not bloodthirsty, but they retrending the entire "Welcome to Toei. We feel you. We feel you." They coming back with that strong. They're coming back with a discussion which is worse, Studio Perry or Toei. Some of them actually defended Studio Perry, but to be fair, they do get some good animations, a good art at times. I mean, Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 was still, was good in the looks. I'm not talking about the direction, what they did to it, but I'm talking about the looks, the design, the character stills, images there. They were good. I thought they were good. Season 2 was noticeably lacking in that department, and that's the disappointing aspect. And the animation, one of the most crucial moments, is terrible. So, but still, they did Akatsuki no Yona, and I thought it did look good. It didn't look amazing, but it did good. And when you look at the manga version, it looks even more, way more better in any way. I guess you could say Studio Perry has a tendency to make them a little cutesy. Well, not cutesy, innocent. Kind of like Nanatsu no Taizai. The anime, for what it is actually good. And I know it's not a faithful adaptation to the series, but it was still fun. It was a fun series for what it is. I just noticed that while the animation is good, the art was good, but lacks so much lighting details, the textures. It lacks a lot of that. But going back to Toei now. Yeah, it seems like Toei has some issues with the animation and the works. And unfortunately, Dragon Ball Super did not escape from the bad treatment. Even if it's such a popular series, the mainstream of all mainstream anime, it still didn't escape the horror of the bad animation. I saw it, only that clip. I saw images. It just looks awful. I have no idea what the hell was going on. So, unfortunately, I learned more about the other works from Toei, and it's no better. I'm starting to see why people hate Sailor Moon Crystal. Starting to see that now. I see more retaliation on the entire Saint Seiya, the newest one, the Mega, I just don't get it. From what I heard, somebody has said that the one that was handling the Dragon Ball Z Super, the latest episode 5, was done by Toei Philippines. That's right, Toei Philippines. And, from what I gathered, they're good at, I think they're good at shading something that has to do with the remaster. But when it comes to key animation, they're not the right choice. And it shows. Boy, does it shows. And, it doesn't help with the art. The art does not follow. The art looks crap. It looks terrible. It got to the point that not only America, not only the fan of Dragon Ball Z, not only the fans of what internet meme thingy, even Japan has actually fight back about this whole thing. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know if there's any result, but we just know it's loud and it just looks pretty bad. It's just awful, bad proportion, bad imagery, bad clunky animation. It's so weird that they made so much money in Resurrection F. How could you make it more worse with this? You don't have Sailor Moon Crystal anymore. Saint Seiya's there, but you know how it works. So now everybody's a fear about Digimon Adventure Tri. It's a movie though. It has that advantage. But now it makes you think, thank God it's a movie. If it was a series, we would have been done. We would have been screwed. But it's not a TV series. It's a movie. Can they still mess it up? Sure. I don't want to say it's so positive, but can they still mess it up? Unfortunately, they can. But we don't know yet. How can they? Will it be drastic? Will it be very minimum? The best I can hope for is very minimum. I don't want to be drastic like this episode of Dragon Ball Super. And I don't know how it's going to go on from there. And I am going to watch it very soon, too. I'm going to watch it, and I had to comment on it. But right now, boy, oh boy, does it look bad. It looks bad. I haven't seen the other episode, but this one is the one that everybody look forward to most. Even though it's a retelling story of the movie Battle of Gods. But, you know, I think this is the first time where the action comes in. And sadly, they're so bad. Now, speaking of bad in terms of reputation, jump into another last one. The last topic of the day is Attack on Titan live action film. I don't know how the movie is. I don't know what's the opinion. Movie critics' opinion. I don't know what's the actual opinions. I just know that it's loud from movie critics, from fans themselves, and even the director himself. Because the director went irate, telling them that you don't know movies, you don't know squat, you don't understand, whatever. He just went irate, and that was not the best way to handle this whole thing. The fans retaliate this whole movie to the point they perhaps, in fact, affected the movie box office. They started off really good. Over 600,000 for 2 days. That's pretty damn good. Unfortunately, because the fans passed it down, because of the fact that the Attack on Titan fans are very serious about this series. Same thing with Hunter x Hunter. From what I heard, they did not like the movies. Granted, the movie wasn't the best, but I can't call it the horrendousness. It's not horrendous. It was not bad. But those hardcore fans, we wanted more. We wanted much better. We wanted to be this way, that way, or any way. Don't touch it at all. You know. And trust me, it's not the same for us where we said about Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution was bad on its own, regardless if it doesn't follow the story properly. Or The Last Airbender. Don't get me started that. There's much a reason why it is a bad movie, with or without being an adaptation to a great series known as the Avatar The Last Airbender, okay? But let me get back to the whole Attack on Titan. I don't know anything about the movie. I don't know anything about how it is. I don't know what's the story. Well, actually I do, but I don't know how it works. I know Levy's not there. That must have pissed off a lot of people already. We're at a good start. But I don't know if it's a good movie. I don't know if it's a bad movie. Maybe it is a bad movie. It could be. They say the movie critic says it's mixed. The fans, is more mixed to negative because they probably didn't get what they want. And the movie critics are probably the only guys that notice the problems with the budgets. I mean, of course, I suspect the budget would be not the best, not Hollywood tier. It would probably be Godzilla old days tier, where they were losing budget at moments, where they had to use stock footage and stuff like that. Well, probably just a cheap effect. If you remember the whole Godzilla film, right after Godzilla 2000, yeah, I know I'm talking about Godzilla like you guys supposed to know, but let me get to my point. After Godzilla 2000, or actually 1999, but whatever, that's not the point. After that movie, they started used to CG. Some of the CG looks crap. It's because, yeah, we all know Godzilla in Japan are like guys in a rubber suit. Fine. Still, the effects are, begs for more money. So Attack on Titan might be the case of that. Fine, I get that, but I just want to know what's exactly the problem. I hope it's not the fact it's just it's changed a lot. Okay, fine, it changed a lot, but is it still good? I don't know. Who knows? The original creator actually made a comment in a more polite way, much polite than the director himself, but in a polite way, he's just saying like he wanted to see the movie, he wanted to understand the good and bad. He admits he's selfish to ask the fans to please check out the movie and just hopefully you enjoyed it and just leave a comment. We already expected that the comments would be hit, miss, it'd be good, bad, whatever. I just want to know how is it, and he just wants to, I'm quoting from him. I want to know how's the movie is. I want to know the good and bads, and hopefully you just enjoy it in general, so we can understand for the next film. At least he's being honest about it. At least he's thoughtful about it. He really knows about the changes. He really acknowledged it a long time ago. He just didn't acknowledge it once again. He's just acknowledging the idea that people are going to like it or hate it to the death because it changed so much. So, I don't know. I don't really trust reviewers that much anymore. So I got to see it myself. I know I'm going to most likely talk about the budgets, but hey, what can you do? It is a quick movie. And the guy's doing Godzilla, the newer Godzilla for Japan, so that's cool for them. But either way, I can't really comment more on that. Just letting you guys know, those hardcore fans. Well, this is the example of core fans, where they don't get what they like, they're gonna hate it to death. So that's it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yes, of course, there's no podcast next week at all. I will just tell you my planning, how it works, what will be the series to get reviewed for this point forward, how it's going to work this point forward. It's only going to be one, when the scheduling, the release. And, with all that in mind, I do think it's going to be much better for me. I think it's going to come out much better for me. Or rather, for all of you guys, I just believe that. I just need time, and I'm going to use that 1 week break. And I am going to write more impressions of the series that I'm reading or watching. And one of them is actually Gintama. I've been enjoying a lot, and I'm going to talk about it in my Tumblr page. Do follow me there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Continue to support me. And I'll see you next time for more Sparda's World podcast, in which is going to be one episode. But hey, I bet it will, in the long run, it will be for the best. Take care, everyone, and have a good time.